Today we're talking about secrets gone wrong. Now, due to strong sexual content in the following segments, I want to tell you that viewer discretion is advised. My next guest says that he's had a lifelong secret addiction to sex, and that it's ruining his life.
Mark told me that he has a sexual addiction problem.
The problem has controlled my life 100%. My sex obsession has caused me to get fired from every job that I've ever held because I would be concentrating on masturbation at work. I have cheated on Jesse 3 different times.
He fantasizes about women everywhere, whether it's in public or whether it's somebody on TV. He fantasizes about young girls.
I've been distracted by the 14-year-old neighbor.
Mark has told me that he may be driving down the street and see an attractive woman and follow them just to get every last image that he can so he can think about them naked.
I'm always looking, like right in front of me, there's a woman. There's 2 more. I've multiple times had to pull over to relieve myself of masturbation after seeing women.
I know of at least 2 incidences where Mark has exposed his erection to other women. We went to a house party. He got very intoxicated. There was a drunk girl passed out, and apparently he was groping her. Mark's admitted that he looked at disturbing pornography.
The more recent porn I looked at was usually more of a brutal type of porn, like using machines on women, brutal rape porn to preteen porn. And it's just because a normal 27-year-old blonde girl didn't do it anymore.
It's really disturbing to think of all the women that he has raped in his mind. He has looked at pornography at my parents' house with my parents 15 feet away and masturbated right there. I feel like if he were out drinking and there were some intoxicated girls, he would act on it and get forceful with them and rape them.
Well, Mark is here with Jesse, who says that Mark's lying, cheating, and sexual obsessions have just completely torn them apart. What do you think of the way she describes this and characterizes it? True?
It's true, yeah.
What's going on here in your view? Self-analyze. What's happening here?
You know, as a young kid, about 9 years old, I, for some reason, learned how to masturbate, and over time, that was my release of any anxiety. I didn't know how to make myself feel better. The only way I knew how to make myself feel better was to look at porn, to masturbate, to use that aspect of anything to.
Mm-hmm. So how many times a day will you masturbate?
10, 15, 20, or more.
A day?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And do you agree that this is out of control?
100%.
It's disrupting your life?
Daily basis.
It's creating problems with job, relationships, everything?
Every job I've had, got fired, failed from it due to this. Academics in high school, college, family, immediate family relationships, you know. Yeah. Threatening our relationship.
Why do you think it's happening?
Well, I've known about it for about a year now. And I was just completely shocked and had no idea that this was going on in his life from childhood. It's just devastating.
So how long have you known him?
Of almost 5 years. So we were together for almost 4 years before he informed me.
But if he's doing this 10 times a day, then that's 4,000 times a year.
He would say that he was going to use the restroom. He would say that he was going to use the restroom and go in there. Did it at work, in his car. And you know, there had been times where I had gone to bed and he was going to stay up and watch some TV. And I had gone out to the living room and found him. And he'd be like, oh, I was just going to come in and surprise you.
I want to get this on the table here so we understand the scope of what we're talking about. You admit that you've had 3 affairs.
Yes.
And attempted to have 1 more.
Yeah.
None of those were deal breakers for you?
When I first found out that he had had affairs, it was already very far into our relationship. When he told me, we did take a break, but you know, I just always keep coming back and hoping that he'll be faithful, but he's not.
Okay, now, and these are things that you admit to, that you've masturbated in the bathroom while your daughter was crying and trying to get in. You've been fired at jobs. You say that you have groped and brushed up against women at a party and touched an underage passed-out girl as well.
Yeah.
You say you've looked at preteen, rape, transgender, and other hardcore porn for years.
Yep.
You've been caught at school. You've been caught by Jesse's father. And there's another element here that kind of changes the dimension of this, but you say that you have abused and tortured animals.
Yeah.
Now, are you aware of this?
I am.
That adds a different element to this. What kind of animals are you torturing?
He's beat my parents' dogs. Pretty much since our whole relationship, my parents' dogs have been terrified of him, and he always just denied. He never did anything. He doesn't know why they don't like him.
Okay, well, listen, and I'm about helping and fixing where I can, but I've got to ask the question that everybody in America that's standing up screaming at television sets right now are saying, why are you still with him? Have you been watching him beat your parents' dogs?
I never saw him act out violently on them. I guess I just lied to myself.
But with the dogs, there's so much hatred for myself, and when I was just able to release that anger on something that wasn't going to fight back, and I think that's where that came from.
Well, all right, we've got to take a break. Next, to make matters worse, Mark and Jesse have a 2-year-old daughter in the house. We'll talk about the impact of that when we come back.
Mark told me that he was aroused by Vivian when she was younger. Mark claims that he would never touch her or do anything like that.
I can't confidently say nothing would happen.
I get you, I got you.
You got us. Having Vivian has helped my sex obsession, but at the same time, when I'm enthralled with what I'm doing, she doesn't matter to me.
I feel like he is hiding more. I hope that there's nothing more involving Vivian.
Well, Mark has kept his sexual obsession secret for years, but now that Jessie knows some of the truth, she says she's afraid for the safety of their 2-year-old daughter. Take a look.
Mark told me that he was aroused by Vivian when she was younger.
I remember a time when I was sitting on the chair, holding her and playing with her, and I got aroused.
I feel like he is not confident that he would not molest her. Mark claims that he would never touch her or do anything like that, but I feel like anything is a possibility with him.
I can't confidently say nothing would happen, because for a long time, that's all I've been enthralled with, porn, young women.
He has absolutely no control. Once he gets that urge in his head, he has to fulfill it. It does scare me. He just has no control.
Well, I'm here with Mark and Jessie. I said before we started this story that we're dealing with sexually explicit material here, not in a sensationalistic way, but in a way that you may not want your kids to hear. So if you're just tuning in, this probably isn't one for the kids. Mark says that he believes he is out of control. Fair statement, Mark?
Yeah.
You think you're out of control? Tell me what you're thinking right now.
Just a lot of shame and guilt for everything. Just knowing that controlled everything my whole life, and knowing that the situation with Vivian happened twice. You know, I would never hurt her.
But you have been aroused twice when she's in your lap. You also said earlier that when you're into this, you don't really care about her. The fact that she's out there banging on the door, well, you don't care about that. You're just into that self-gratification at that point. So you take a combination of the fact that you have been aroused with her as a stimulus, and when you get into this, you don't care about anything except that. Doesn't that spell danger to you?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest about it. Does that spell danger to you?
Yes, and it terrifies me, and it makes me just want to run and leave him forever and take my daughter and leave.
And in every way that he knows how, he's telling you he's out of control. You expect her to do something to protect herself and the daughter, correct?
Yes.
And sometimes
And he's telling you you need to, correct?
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like he just wishes that we would leave and that I would leave him. That way he wouldn't have to address his problems and that he could just live like this forever.
But more than anything, I do not want to continue this way.
You have every warning sign, every characteristic of a severe sexual addiction. You've got compulsive masturbation, multiple affairs, focus on porn, exhibitionism, very little satisfaction in actual intimate relationships. You're out of control. I mean, every aspect of it is a textbook case. And I'm not trying to say you're an evil person, but you are a sick person. You understand, this is a mental illness.
100% agree. Couldn't agree with you more.
And it needs treatment, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think you need to do and what I think you need to do when we come back.
But I am a habitual compulsive liar, cheating on every piece of homework, cheating in my sporting events in high school, lying and cheating in college to my family.
I feel like anything is a possibility with him since he's lied and been deceitful pretty much our whole relationship, and can't believe anything he says. Mark and I used to have sex multiple times a day, but now we have sex only a few times a month. I fear that every time we have sex that he is thinking about somebody else. He was working at a lady's house. It was like an imaginary girlfriend to him. He would go there, fantasize about her. Mark is begging to get caught.
Well, we've been talking about Mark's secret sexual obsessions that are destroying his family. They're not secret anymore because you are being forthcoming with Jesse about these things. This is a mental illness, and let me give you the good news. This is treatable. You need to retrain your brain. You need to go cold turkey off of the stimuli that you're using. You need to retrain your brain. You need some EEG work, you need some biofeedback work, you need a 12-step program, you need a whole lot of resources that can help you reclaim control in this situation. And those things are doable. And Anthony Haskins, who's our resource director, has been for the last week putting together resources for you to help you do this. So I don't want you to feel hopeless here, because that's not the case. We can offer you some help here. In the meantime, you unequivocally and without restraint have to protect yourself and your daughter. To expose your daughter to him in the condition that he is now is dangerous. Do not do that. He must be monitored at every step. Now, consciously, you would never do that. It sickens you to even think about that. I can see it in your face. I get that. But you simply cannot allow her to be in harm's way. You are her protector. 100%. That is your job. And you have to know, you have to protect this every step of the way. Do you agree with me, Mark?
Yeah.
What are you thinking right now?
It's just sad to hear all that stuff. I love my daughter, but all this has happened. This has been a part of my life. It sickens me, you know. It's not happy to come up here and talk about this stuff.
But you know it's true, though, right? What I'm trying to do is, at this point, so far as we know, you haven't raped anyone.
No.
So far as we know, you haven't molested anyone. You certainly haven't hurt your daughter. So there's nothing criminal and actionable at this point. I want to stop it before it happens.
Me too. That's why we're here right now.
Whether she leaves you, whether you stay together, whatever happens, you have to take care of yourself. You have to get this under control. This is a sickness, okay? It's not like some evil person. This is a sickness, and sicknesses can be treated. Yep. It shouldn't be punished. It should be treated. Yep. I'm not judging you. I'm offering you help.
And I want to take everything.
And I expect you to take it. And when we set things up for, I expect you to show up.
100% I will do.
I expect you to do things. Okay?
Right
All
away.
right? So we're gonna work on this. In the meantime, you're going to protect yourself and your daughter.
100%.
And I'm going to get him the help underway. We're already working on it.
Great.
Okay? All right. We'll be right back.